Hey there YouTube, WrestlingOptimus here, back with another unboxing video. And today we're going to be taking a look at some new WWE figures. Well, new to me at least. That's right, we're going to be adding to the overall collection, but I'll admit up front that I did cheat on the last two, and you'll see what I'm talking about at the end. Anyway, I've been holding on to some of these for a little while now, and it's about time that I finally opened them up. So enough talking, let's get to the unboxing. First up is somebody that I am really shocked I haven't gotten yet. It's LA Knight. Yeah! Now as you can see, this is not a first time in the line. I believe he did come out with a basic first, and this is now the Elite with true FX details and that head sculpt. This is also part of Series 108, so let's spin this around and see who else is in there. Looks like we got Brock Lesnar, Bronson Reed, the Giant Omos, and another one that I need, Chelsea Green, as well as Terry Gordy for the first time. The blurb here says, "Let me talk to ya. There's only one megastar who can take WWE to heights never before reached," with everybody saying, LA Knight, yeah! Alright, let's flip that back around, and it's time to let LA Knight breathe. And here he is. He does come with a couple of extra hands. We already see one pointer, and here's the other, as well as an extra mic gripping hands, which is where we're going to start first, and that is the fact that he is holding a mic because it's LA Knight. Of course he has a microphone. But let's take that out real quick just so we can see what else is going on with this figure. We'll start with the head sculpt per usual, and that looks really good, I think. I don't know about you guys, but it's not perfect, however, it does have a striking similarity. Not sure about this Defiant vest. I don't think I've ever seen him wear something that says that before. Moving past the trunks, and we have the LA logo, some basic knee pads, and some decent shoes. Got some red soles, and it says Knight on each one of these. There also is a little LA right there. Bringing it around to the back, it says Knight on both his trunks and his vest here, with an LA in black behind it. He doesn't have any tattoos, so nothing to point out there. It's a pretty good figure, I will say. I feel like he should have at least had one other accessories besides just a mic, but I also feel like that might be nitpicking. He did come with some extra hands. It does look good, but I'm gonna take off a few points for the head sculpt not being perfect and kind of basic ring gear. And to remind you guys, we are gonna grade on an Elite scale today because every one of these figures is an Elite, not a basic. And that just means that it's gotta be really good because you're paying a little bit extra. And that's why I put such a premium on things like accessories and tattoos and clothing, and yes, the accuracy of the overall look. And so with that in mind, I'm gonna give him a 7.5 out of 10. Alright, let's set him aside, and we are going to bring out another new wrestler to my collection. And that's a member of the Steiner family, it's Bron Breakker. Again, he's had basics, so this isn't the first time in the line for him, but this might be his first Elite. It's part of Series 114, so let's spin this around and see who else is here. We got a new Ilya Dragunov. We have Jimmy and Jey Uso, as well as Zoe Stark for the first time in the line. I tried to get her, but haven't been able to find her recently. And another Tommaso Ciampa. Looking at the blurb, Bron Breakker tore the building down at NXT No Mercy 2023 to show Baron Corbin that he's got that dog in him. Speaking of which, Baron Corbin did get let go, and I already miss him. Their tag team together was pretty awesome down in NXT. But enough of that, let's let Bron Breakker breathe. And here he is. I can already tell I am going to like this figure. Per usual though, let's take a look at the extra hands. It looks like we have mic holding fists, and then the regular closed fists are already on the figure. We'll take a look at that head sculpt, and this is already better than our first figure with LA Knight. I will say there's something just a tiny bit off about the head sculpt, but I can't put my finger on it, so maybe one of you in the comments can. Unlike LA Knight, he does actually have a tattoo, and it looks pretty good. I love this singlet. It really sets apart his gear from the standard trunks, but we do still have standard black knee pads. and relatively standard boots, and it looks like it says Breaker, especially if we spin that heel there. Continuing on to the back, and it's just black part of the singlet, but still, I really like the design. And now the pièce de résistance, and that is this awesome wolf headdress thing. I don't recall this being used terribly often, but I do think I remember him wearing it at least once. We'll stick it on, and I'm not sure how far down it goes. I think there we go. Look at that. He's such a badass. So one last spin while I grade him. This is a great figure. We got a really cool accessory. I like that the singlet isn't just the normal thing, and we did get some extra hands. I will say I think there's a little bit room for improvement, but not much. So I'm gonna go with a 9.5 out of 10. Alright, let's set him aside and we're gonna move on to the next one. And this is gonna be, I believe, the only NXT figure I'm opening up today. I finally got my Tony D'Angelo, and yes, this is his first time in the line. I can already see that he's gonna have a pretty nice little tracksuit outfit here, as well as the obligatory extra hands. He is part of Series 111, and if we spin it around to the back, that series also has Trish Stratus, Ricochet, who's in AEW now, Finn Balor, a Sandman for the first time, and of course, another Cody Rhodes. And it says here, it's all about the family, it's all about the business, and it's all about being a champion for the Don of NXT, Tony D'Angelo. Alright, I don't think anyone else in the family has a figure yet, although maybe Channing Stacks Lorenzo? Either way, it's time to let Tony D'Angelo breathe. And here he is. Hey, forget about it. In fact, I kind of already got him going. Capiche? But with that said, the extra hands are open palms, as opposed to the mic holding hands there. And let's take a look at that face sculpt, since we didn't get any other extra features, but this tracksuit basically is an accessory in and of itself. We got that hair bun here, as well as a pretty decent face. Really liking the eyes, that looks just like him, as well as that goatee. So no points off necessarily, but let's take that off, and sure enough, he's got a wife beater, and it looks like we got some tattoos, so take a look at those. We got a cross on that side, and it looks like an Italian and maybe American flag there with an eagle in between holding the two flags. So that is pretty awesome. TD on the breast there. Moving down, the pants are actually painted on, so you can't take those off like the top, but we got a stripe all the way down to some pretty basic white shoes. Going up here, the back of the jacket has some sort of Italian flag motif. Not sure why it's attached to a chain. We got a similar stripe down the arms of that, and we got some cool white rings or something on his hand. So where does that leave us with a grade? Well, I do believe that it should have come with some extra accessories to justify that $25 or so price point. And yet again, there's something about that face sculpt that isn't quite right. So with all that said, I think I'm still gonna go with a 9 out of 10. Really good figure, it just could be better. Okay, this next one is actually our only tag team for the day, and it is Pretty Deadly. They came over from NXT UK where they won the tag titles, then they won the tag titles in NXT, but I do believe they haven't won tag titles on the main roster quite yet. Either way, like most people, I did find them incredibly annoying at first, but then something about them just kinda grew on me. And all their recent shenanigans, including trying to put together a musical, it's just comedic gold in my book. But yes, it looks like they are both part of Series 110, so we'll spin them around so that we can read what appears to be the exact same blurb for both of them, and that is, "Yes boy, Pretty Deadly, the team whose gorgeous looks flow in the wind like a thoroughbred racing in an open field, are the tastiest snacks in the WWE Universe." And it looks like Series 110 comes along with Bruno Sammartino, a new Butch, Austin Theory, Roman Reigns, and Rhea Ripley. I'm assuming all three of those carry their titles. But yeah, I am most looking forward to seeing these outfits up close. So without any further ado, let's let Kit Wilson and Elton Prince breathe. Here they are, and yes, I'm gonna be grading them together. Each one already has open palms on the figure, and then come with mic holding hands. I do think I'm gonna replace them pretty soon because I don't like open palms on figures. They also come with extra heads, something I don't believe we've seen yet, and it appears they're saying yes boy. But let's look what head sculpts normally come with the figures, and we'll take a look at Kit Wilson first. He is the brunette of the group, and I'm not gonna lie, he kind of looks like Dolph Ziggler from a certain angle, but otherwise I guess it's fairly accurate. It's not totally perfect, so we will be deducting points. The hair is pretty cool, and we might as well immediately address the elephant in the room, and that is this weird mesh crop top. Even if it does come off, I pretty much never see them without these crop tops. Yeah, it does. So I'm just gonna leave it on there. And moving downward with the gear, we got this really cool kind of splotchy blue on blue look with a nice kind of crisscross pattern down the side. The boots are pretty interesting too, black with gold trim, and even a little bit of orange or red or something on the bottom there. It continues that kind of splash color technique. We move up here, it doesn't appear like he has any tattoos, so it's just gonna kind of be that. I do appreciate the 2 extra heads, but otherwise we haven't seen any accessories just yet, other than, I guess this clothing kinda counts. Then looking over here at Elton Prince, is it just me, or is he trying to do the smolder? I don't know if I really like that, mostly because that one eye seems really closed, and I don't know how that's gonna turn out in pictures for videos, but otherwise it looks like he is in the exact same outfit as his counterpart, so nothing really to go over with that. And that means I guess we're gonna jump straight to the grading. As I said, both head sculpts are really kind of weird, so I'm gonna take off for that. I know we got some extra heads, but those are also kind of weird with that O face, and they also don't look perfect. And other than that, there really aren't any accessories, so gotta take off for that. Still, they are pretty decent figures, and it's nice to get another tag team. So I'm gonna go with a generous 8 out of 10. Let's move on to the next 2, which are the ones that I told you at the beginning of the video I kinda cheated on. Okay, so the reason I say this is cheating is because the title of the video is probably going to be something about like new WWE figures, and the idea was to get all new figures to my collection. However, I couldn't find enough genuinely brand new figures, so I'm going to include 2 where I'm basically upgrading to drastically different looks. And the first one is Gunther, who I believe was still called Walter when he looked like this and was really, well, let's just say it like it is, fat. By the way, I don't have the current heavyweight championship, so I'm using the big gold belt. Whoops. You can already see just by the size of his head here and inside the packaging that he has a totally different look now. And that's why I do think it is about time that we upgraded. Now, this doesn't appear to have a series number, so I think this is just called Top Picks Must Have Superstars. Let's spin it around to see who else is a top pick, and that would be Roman Reigns and Rey Mysterio, only 3 in this series. He is, of course, the only wrestler on the roster right now from Vienna, Austria, or Austria in general. And speaking of general, the ring general is the epitome of efficiency and elegance inside the ring, decimating his opponents with tactical brutality. And yeah, I am already excited to take a look at this big red coat, so let's let Gunther breathe. And here he is. He's already holding the jacket with these hands, which is why I'm not sure why they gave me open palms, unless I guess maybe to chop his opponents with. But I will say, other than the red coat, once again, there weren't any accessories, so yet again, we're not gonna have a perfect figure, but that's perfectly fine. I'm content with getting really good figures that aren't necessarily perfect. That being said, right out of the box, he is already in an awesome pose here, and because of that, I'm kind of afraid to inspect him, but hey, we gotta do what we gotta do. So, if we just kind of lift this up without necessarily taking it off, Those boots are what he wears, even though they're really basic, and the trunks are basically something that he would wear, even though they aren't very unique either. Let's also start off by saying that head sculpt is amazing, and I like how it's able to look up. Sometimes you have figures that just, for whatever reason, always look like they're glancing downward no matter how much you kind of try to bend them back. It's especially prevalent with basic figures. Alright, I guess it's finally time to take this red coat off. So we will slide it down his arms there. There we go, and yeah, he doesn't have any tattoos, so it's again pretty simplistic in the design, but that is Gunther, so I guess it works. I'm not exactly sure what accessories I would give to Gunther, but still, for this price point, you need something other than just a really realistic head sculpt. And that's why, again, I'm gonna give this Gunther a 9 out of 10. Alright, and on to the last one. Okay, I am a bonehead, and I accidentally opened that last one before I got a chance to show it on camera, so real quick, it's Dominic Mysterio, and once again, there's no series number. He's part of something called Greatest Hits. It says, after spending 24 hours in jail for assaulting his father, Rey Mysterio, Dirty Dom returned a changed man, forever scarred from his day in the clink. And even though it shows this exact outfit as the LA Knight I just opened up, I'm just gonna assume that's a different one, and then Seth freaking Rollins and Roman Reigns also came in this line. But like I said, I'm dumb. Since he's already breathing, let's just take a look at him. And the reason I bought him, by the way, is because I still have an old babyface Dominic Mysterio from when he was teaming with his dad. They did get the tag championships, but he's completely changed his character. He is totally different, and that's why I desperately needed to upgrade him. Frankly, the Dirty Dom character might as well be a completely different person, so it kind of is like having a brand new character's figure. With that said, the figure comes with some mic holding hands, but it also comes with some extra fists. Other than that, the only other accessories are this really cool bandana and these sunglasses. Let's take the glasses off first. And then the bandana actually just kind of clips around the head. And then the one other thing is this flannel, which I guess I gotta take off in order to inspect all of his tattoos. While I do that, I will say the head sculpt looks just like him. Per usual, sometimes you gotta take the hands off in order to get these things off the figure. So real quick, let's just reattach that. And then we'll bring him a little bit closer to the camera so that you can see. I think that has a striking resemblance, and the best part is the mullet. Even though I think that's like down to his mid-back now. We see it says DM for Dominic Mysterio on the back. I do love his teardrop tattoo right there, as well as all these other tattoos along the arms and on the back of the hands. They did a really, really good job sculpting all of those. This appears to be some sort of really cool Aztec symbol, so we'll just line that up. And then moving down, we got these kind of Rey Mysterio inspired pants. And then for the Judgment Day, we have a couple of scales on some skulls. But otherwise, they are basic black pants with basic black boots and a fairly basic top. It is a tank top, I guess, which is a little bit rarer on a figure. I will say overall, I'm a little bit disappointed in the lack of accessories kind of across the board. Obviously, this one did come with some really cool stuff, but that's just not enough to justify how much more a elite figure is compared to a basic figure. The tattoos are great, the head sculpt is great, and there's a little bit of detailing on the outfit, so I'm gonna go with a 9.5. I do feel like overall I was a little bit generous today, but hey, what are you gonna do? And with that said, let's wrap things up today. Let me know what you thought about all these figures down there in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to do all that normal YouTube stuff. Smash the like button, share with any wrestling or action figure fans you may have, subscribe to the channel, and spread the word. You can also talk to me over on Twitter or X at WrestlingOptimus, or see all my best figure photography over on Instagram at WrestlingOptimus. I'm also on Facebook and Blue Sky now. If you haven't seen my latest video, it should be on screen somewhere right now. But until next time, I've been WrestlingOptimus, and I will catch you later.